we talked about the detoxification, and it's so important. I tell my clients to make sure you're soaking up those toxins. They're going to come out of your skin's your largest organ. And I'm seeing a lot of skin rashes, not necessarily from the patches, but from detoxification. And when you are going through detox, it's important to support yourself. Like David mentioned, the exercise, proper sleep. I use the accelerated detox powder to soak up those toxins. But that's something that I'm noticing also is just a lot of skin rashes, not necessarily from the patches, just from detoxification in general. And I believe the virus out there is triggering some of the detoxification even more, or flaring things up in our body. So that's just something that I would recommend keeping an eye on. But I wanted to touch on some of the supplements that you've talked about to support the patches. You've talked about iodine and copper and NAC, but why don't we touch on those and why they're important?
Yeah, well, because of COVID, everyone should really be taking an NAC supplement at this point. NAC, of course, is N-acetylcysteine. It's been around for over 50 years. And there was a study that came out, this was in 2020, that showed that NAC could act as a very effective support for reducing the symptoms of COVID. I'll put it that way. And 5 weeks later, the FDA was sending warning letters to companies selling NAC, and there was a move to have that supplement removed from shelves, despite an impeccable record of safety for over 50 years. So the issue here is that NAC will elevate glutathione, and glutathione manages the inflammatory process. Hence, if for someone that has COVID, this could mean the difference between life and death. So we know there's a few supplements now. Vitamin D, of course, we know will decrease the viability of a virus in the body, interferes with its ability to replicate. Vitamin D in very high doses, like 50,000 IUs, acts as a very powerful anti-inflammatory. So if a person wanted to decrease their odds of having a very serious reaction to COVID, especially in the early days, right? Then a good way to protect against that would be supplementing with things like vitamin D, NAC, iodine, which I know you're an expert on, and copper, amongst other things. So today, yeah, I think even if someone has cysteine in their diet, it's smart to supplement with NAC. On some of the other things that you mentioned, 50 years ago, 70 years ago, the FDA was recommending 3 milligrams per day of copper, and now it's down to 900 micrograms. So this is really a problem. In clinical studies, it's been shown that even if you have a piece of liver and you're getting 30 or 50 milligrams of copper, the detoxification pathways in most people will reduce the copper within about 2 hours or so. So supplementing with 2.5 milligrams or so of copper, such as copper glycinate, is going to be a good way for people to get enough copper in their diet, if they're not, having enough chocolate or wheatgrass or liver in their diet, amongst some other things. But yeah, I think because of the concern of COVID and just the general attack on our immunity, we should be looking at things like NAC, copper, iodine, vitamin D as a base to protect our health.
Yeah, and it's also really important, as you've talked about, to supplement with amino acids or eating the right kind of protein. Because if your body has leaky gut, and a lot of people, I don't know where this comes from, have a fear of eating protein or eating the wrong kind of protein. you see that nutrient deficiency not giving you the same results as you would get with especially the X49 and muscle building, as I'm 46 and wanting to make sure that I'm holding on to and actually building muscle. And I can tell everyone listening that factually, I did not change anything else other than putting the X49 on, and I started putting muscle back on. Now I've added a supplement called Perfect Aminos, which is 99% absorbed. That and the X49 have skyrocketed my results. I couldn't be happier, David. And I'm actually writing a blog on how to achieve longevity and muscle building for women and men
Yeah,
based
awesome.
around this, because, and then of course the importance of the X39 and even carnosine, which I want to get into carnosine, which is, I feel like it's the it's the hidden gem.
It is.
I put on my story on Instagram my sleep protocol, because I get a sleep score of over 95 every single night.
Incredible.
I'm a working mom. I've got 3 kids to make sure I'm taking care of, and of course a husband that needs attention too. So when I put my head on the pillow, I'm usually like racing, right, with tons of things going on in my mind, and I'm able to fall asleep. So with my sleep protocol, I've got Eon on my forehead, I've got Alavita on my chin, I've got glutathione on my right temple, I've got carnosine on my left temple, and I've got the silent nights on my foot. And every single night, not only does it work great, but I'm also focused on making sure my eyesight is preserved.
Yeah.
And also building muscle recovery and all of the wonderful things about carnosine. So I just gave you a whole lot there. It's a can of worms, and I'd love your feedback on any and all of it.